Halloween Havoc, Chico. It's gonna be awful scary.
What's happening, everybody? The Job Guys back with you one more time. That is Nitro Nick over there, Ryan sitting right over here. And 'tis the season, Nick. How about a countdown that we haven't done yet? Halloween Havoc. And we figured multiple different ways we could do it. We could do the best five. We could do a mix of best and worst, best shows. We decided, because there is a lot of wonky stuff going on in Halloween Havocs, how about the worst 5 matches of all time? And man, this was tough to narrow down because they always tried to do goofy stuff during Halloween Havoc. You got the Black Scorpion and the Halloween Phantom and a Dungeon of Doom and monster trucks and spin the wheel. Like, they always had the theme, but it didn't always work out as planned. It sounded a lot better than on paper.
And
than
just a lot of bad guys, right? Bad gimmicks. The Cuban assassin,
Well, how about the mysterious creatures? Creature number 1 and creature number 2 that are just dudes with masks on. That's all they are. And they're
so
like, they're
bad.
Mysterious.
You really could. You could make an argument on this for about 20 matches, pending on the way you view wrestling and what you dislike and like about it. There's bad worked matches, bad gimmick matches. I mean, matches that make no sense. Major letdown matches. It's choked full of any kind of worst possible scenario you can think of.
And we're going to hit all of them. We're going to hit every single kind of match. Let's get right into it. So you're going to have 5. I'm going to have 5. We do know what they are this time. A couple of them are similar, and then we have a few differences. Starting right at number 5, Nick, which was one for you.
Yeah.
That was a massive letdown match.
Ryan, I told you earlier, I got a few Easter eggs on me here if people are waiting for what these matches are. And the first one kind of hits right there. Bret Hart versus Sting, 1998 Halloween Havoc, a match that was supposed to be iconic. Ryan, these were the dudes from each different federation that we never thought we'd get to see this match. This is kind of this matchup. Dream matches. It was in PWI magazine. I remember seeing it ranked on those dream matches all the time.
Yep.
Scorpion, sharpshooter.
Yep.
Who's the better guy? Both huge fan favorites. It could not have been more of a stinker for me, Ryan. It's not a Bret Hart. I mean, I was still cheering him, but it's not the beloved Bret Hart, the diehard that we all want to see. And Sting, the worst part of his career, I would say, right?
Tomato face.
Wolfpack Sting, right?
And with a goatee at this point. Like,
it
weird.
I was going to say anything, but it looked insanely. A brown goatee, red face paint. It was so bad, man. Takes forever to get the match going off the bat. Bret is just running around the outside. So it's like 8 minutes before this thing goes. And it's an okay match, but nothing special up until Bret pulls out. I want to say brass knuckles, but they were like black knuckles, I think, or something like that. And he fails. Bret drops them. Sting picks them up. Sting comes at him. The ref stops him. Bret low blows the ref. Sting, right in front of the ref. For some reason, Sting can't use the punch, but Bret can low blow. That's cool. But the ref gets knocked out. He's laying in the ring. And it's so bad. He has to wiggle out of the way. I don't know if you've seen this match, but the ref is in the way. He has to wiggle and he moves himself out. They still do a superplex off the top rope and almost break the ref's ankles on that. They land like right on top of him. It was so bad. And then Sting jumps at Bret to do a stinger splash. Bret's over on the post. Sting misses the stinger splash, knocks himself out. And the ref is still out. Bret then grabs a bat, and probably as bad as Ronda's was recently, if I can make a comparison, probably worse. These are the worst bat shots I've ever seen to anybody in history. They're so fake, so phony. Brett rolls him back in, wakes up the referee, throws the sharpshooter on. Sting is pinned.
Sting will be stung. Woo!
It's unreal. And you're sitting there going, this is all I got.
Yeah.
There were it wasn't an iconic match that went 25, 30 minutes. It was a boring match. There were not a lot of impact moves. Each guy didn't even get off all their signature moves in this match. And Sting is being taken away now in an ambulance with a neck brace. The announcers are like, oh my God, playing off like he's going to die.
Because he was really hurt. Yeah, and then he's gone for like the next 6 months. But yeah.
They were playing, but he's not selling it.
Right.
His arms are flailing everywhere. He's moving his neck. He's talking to people.
No,
It's
you're
so
not
bad.
alone. I remember I watched this pay-per-view live, and we all thought the same thing. Nobody was talking about Undertaker Sting. That has turned into, I don't know how that turned into whatever it turned into. No, back in the day, it was Sting against Brett. That was the match everybody wanted to see.
Finishers were the same.
Yes, and they were both kind of like the poster children of the company. Sting was Mr. WCW. Everybody left. Luger left. Flair left. Everybody left except for Sting. My number 5. This is one maybe you probably had to be watching WCW at this point. It's from 1994, Joe Louis Arena. It is Dave Sullivan against Kevin Sullivan. Now, for those not familiar with Dave Sullivan was supposedly Kevin Sullivan's younger brother. Problem is, he's special needs.
What?
He is Eugene long before there was a Eugene, like 20 years previous. And what's even funnier is at Halloween Havoc 1993, the man's name is the Equalizer. And he's supposed to be like one of these scary whatever. His name is just not Dave Sullivan, the Equalizer, just the Equalizer. And he comes down to the ring and he's yelling, I'm going to tear off their face. I'm going to tear off their face. A year later, he's special needs little brother of Kevin Sullivan. And he is Hulk Hogan's biggest fan. So the whole gimmick is, I want to be a Hulkamaniac, which he then debuts the song, I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac. If you've never heard how atrocious this song is, take a listen right now.
When you're looking for something cool to do, just pick good friends to be with you. You better watch out where you are at. You may be judged where you hang your hat. Can you feel the music? Can you feel the beat? You don't need drugs to move your feet. When the dealer tries to push on you, just tell him what you're gonna do.
So that's, annoying after 1 second. Kevin comes to the ring and he's like, I don't know if he's doing the evil whatever, but he's still Kevin Sullivan. He's yelling Huss. I don't know why everybody always has to yell Huss when they walk down to the ring. He's doing that. They show 2 little kids. They're hyping up the debut of this song. They show 2 little kids wearing Hulk Hogan bandanas. They look pissed.
Bogus.
2 little kids. They're having none of this. I mean, they got this look on their face, dude. It's priceless. They aren't buying it. The match isn't like awful, but it's just the whole buildup. And then the match ends. Kevin's getting his butt kicked, and he has a Hulk Hogan bandana, and he holds it up. And Dave Sullivan sees it, and because, apparently he's like got the brain of a golden retriever, he comes over. He's like, oh. And like the bandana is some truce or something. Like when you hold something, your dog, and he comes running over to you. That's what he did with this Hogan bandana. And then Kevin just jacks him when he comes over. But then he leaves. He gets counted out after that. The whole thing is just stupid as can be. Just what are you thinking? Who on earth thought this was going to get over whatsoever? It's so bad. Dave Sullivan, Kevin Sullivan, number 5 on my list. Number 4 from you, and here is one of the ones we both have the same number 4. For those not watching and listening, that is a Jake of the Snake Roberts shirt. How about you hit it up? 1992, spin the wheel, make the deal.
Coal miner glove. What did we just get? He shows up in August and DDT's Sting twice on a freaking chair, man.
Yep.
And I'm like, whoa, okay. This could be cool because I watched guys in WCW become more than they were in the WWE, ravishing Rick Rude for one. You saw Vader being able to, obviously down the road, amount to a certain level. Rugged Ronnie Garvin, certain guys. So how could Jake be a Sting caliber?
Top guy.
I think he is in my life, but I love Jake. So
Yeah.
he comes in. It's really exciting for this match. It's unsanctioned, Ryan. They keeps telling us that. Remember, unsanctioned. It's a freaking match. Nothing happens in this match at all, dude. There's a huge
Nothing
pole in the corner. No, I think maybe they use a chair once on each, outside the ring, but it's unsanctioned. It was just a boring match, and I think both these dudes. These are both guys that can go at least 15 to 20 minutes, Ryan.
Yeah.
These dudes, I've seen them do it in matches. I've seen them put on good matches. They go 10:34 in the main event in this match. This is such a letdown. And at the end of the match, here comes Cactus with a cobra.
Right.
And now here's where everything really goes bad, right? He hands it to Jake. Now, the timing is way off. So Jake is just standing here with his back turned to Sting in the ring as Sting ascends this pole to get this coal miner's glove, which at 12, everybody was like, yeah, get the coal miner. I'm the coal miner.
I didn't know what that even meant.
Either. Nobody
and
was
we didn't have the internet to look up. Does a coal miner's glove made of metal? Is it heavy? We had no clue. They never show you, like, look at this thing. No, it's just on a pole that you can't even see because you know how they normally have to go on the turnbuckle? Yeah. No, they had to climb the pole.
Yeah, scaffold it. Who thought that would be a good idea? You know how long it takes to do that?
Right.
None of us went outside to play coal miner when we were a kid, so we didn't know what the glove was. So he ascends back down. Jake's sitting there.
Go play coal miners?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys there.
He comes back down. Jake still had his back turned. Sting, side punched him with the glove.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't even
like in his kidney or something.
Yeah, it's like a kidney shot. Jake falls down, and the snake is supposed to latch onto his face and bite him as Sting pins him. Well, the snake, I think, does bite him for a second, but it keeps releasing. It won't hold on to his face. So Jake is smashing
He's
the
just
snake
holding it
onto his face. It's so bad, man. It's just awful. And he rolls around. I don't know. It looks he's going into shock, and he tries to run.
Yeah.
He's hysterically running out of the ring.
Like the venom's instantly killing him.
This match is so bad. And it was not. These were dudes, again, two dudes that I wasn't mad to see go.
Yeah.
Kind of excited, hey, Jake gets a new start, and it couldn't have went worse for Jake and Sting in this match.
Yeah, I was watching WCW back then. I had a buddy who had a black box, and he always watched WCW, and he was a massive Sting fan. So, we're like, oh, okay, this will be sweet. We've never seen these two fight.
And the DDTs were sweet, man.
Yep. And so I was pumped, ready for it. I had the same. I watched it live. Same reaction. Like, the heck is a coal miner's glove? What? I'm 12. What are we doing here? There's no Google. I'm 6 years away from ever being on the internet. What am I supposed to do with this? So Jake screwed right from the get-go, too. And I don't know if this is the network that did this. It did not. When they dub in music, you can normally tell that it's like overdubbed because the crowd goes way up and then you can barely hear the ring announcer. Didn't sound like that. He comes out to some generic music that I heard like 10 different jobbers use on Nitro years later. So he comes out to that. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So you nailed it. It's like a nothing happening match. It's just a match. Well, Jake's holding his face because this thing is like supposedly biting his face. And that was so bad that I was like, that can't be a real snake. That's got to be a toy snake.
Right.
Because then on top of that, he keeps landing on it. Like, he
falls on it the aisleway. The aisleway he like falls twice. On it.
And in the ring, he's holding it and he's like laying on it with his arm. And I was like, I'm watching the snake to like see if it's moving, and it's kind of moving, and it curled up a little bit in the aisle. So I'm like, all right, I guess it has to be a real snake. But I'm like, it's like a toy snake. It's like a rubber snake because, dude, he's landing on it over, and I'm like, no wonder it's not biting you. It's dead.
Ryan's dead.
Really?
To me.
He's dead!
Okay. Oh, man.
It's so bad. And then, yeah, like you said, he's going down the aisle, and it's like he's, drunk or something because like they're acting like the venom is already killing him in 5 seconds, and he can't walk, and Cactus Jack has to help him back. And then they do the same thing that like AEW does now. Everything just ends. They just end things and move on. And
that's the end of the pay-per-view.
It's just over. Like he's running to the back, falling down.
We gotta go.
We gotta go. And they actually do go to Ross. And Ross, this was a constant watching every one of these Halloween Havocs. He never knows what's going on. So I don't know if it's just him not paying attention or he doesn't know. I don't know if the producer is not telling him in his ear, hey, do this, say this. He has no clue what's going on. And he's constantly lost. And it probably is because every one of these Halloween Havoc pay-per-views ends with some ridiculous finish that he probably doesn't know what's going on. Like, did we really just end the pay-per-view like that? I don't know what to say here. So it might not be his fault at all because you're giving him the dumbest things of all time, which we will get into other dumb things that happen.
You can see through this pay-per-view, maybe more than others, Ryan, how the difference between WWF at the time and WCW.
Dude, they miss so many spots, man, that are like the most important thing of the night, and they miss it. We'll get into that coming up. Our number 3, also the same. We have the same exact match. Some people say this is the worst. I won't go that far because unfortunately there's some things even worse. 1998, the rematch, Hulk Hogan, Warrior.
How excited were we, Ryan? Remember, the internet's in now, right? So we know he's coming before he gets there.
Yep.
The Warrior's coming. WrestleMania 6. In my opinion, it's the second greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Hulk Hogan!
This is a classic match. I'm going to get to see Hogan Warrior again now. This is Hollywood, though, but okay, I'm going to do it. It's awful. The feud coming in. The Warrior
died the first night.
If you thought his old promos were freaking, tear off the cockpit doors, Hulk Hogan.
Assume the controls, Hulk Hogan.
Now he's into voodoo, and he appears in mirrors, and out of smoke, and he crosses. He sits like he's reading a book when he's sitting. Remember that when he showed up in the ring, and I think he had his leg crossed over, like Hogan, hello. I mean, this is the Warrior,
right?
What are we doing here? Did you feel the same way?
They turned him in. Yeah, oh yeah, they turned him into like a magic trick artist, disappearing, reappearing. Remember, and he is hurt in this match. If you don't remember, they had a trap door for him in the middle of the ring. Also hurt the British Bulldog. He got hurt in, I believe, in that War Games.
I think it was.
Yeah,
yes.
he would jump through the middle of the ring and all this. They turned him into some mysterious ghost guy, which that stuff, even today, blows.
Yes.
Sorry today.
It was terrible. Did you notice right at the beginning of the match, they didn't even cut this out of a Warrior sucks chant breaks out.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, I mean, people I think wanted to see the Warrior, but not this freaking Warrior. Right. This is terrible, man. The match, nothing like WrestleMania 6. It was just all where, and again, I'm not saying WrestleMania 6 is the greatest match, but those two guys together could not have done a better match than they did at 6.
It was magic that night.
It was. Something was there. It all worked. Everything did not this match. They couldn't even do a freaking arm bar correctly in this match.
And they tried to do it like 100 times.
Yes.
And
it's just they couldn't even, like, forearm shots, and the guy would almost trip over the guy as he falls down. It's so bad. It's so slow. Just basic punches and no real cool moves. I mean, there's a slam maybe, but there's nothing major going on here. The ref getting knocked down looked freaking terrible. The Warrior goes down, but and Hogan goes to jump over him, and Hogan had to kind of hold up, and the ref kind of in the ref, you can see him coming, dude. Move. Yep. I mean, right. You're just standing there waiting. Typical WCW trying to put that together.
Was Don Stevens the referee in that match? I'm just wondering. I wasn't sure.
And now here comes the NWO. Giant back in it. You've got Vince and you've got Stevie Ray. They come out. The Warrior just taps each one, and that's it. They run away. They're done. Right. Warrior in this match. Okay, Hogan maybe oversells gyrations, but the Warrior is so over, going everywhere, man. It's just so bad. What finally wraps up the tool belt, smacks Hogan down with it. And then while he's down, I don't know what goes on. Hogan grabs this bag, if you will, of stuff and goes to the corner, and he's trying to make what could be called a fireball, right? I think that's what they called it.
Flash paper, yeah.
Flash paper
is what he's got.
Okay, and he goes over there, and before he can throw it into the Warrior's eyes, it goes off in his own face, man. It's so freaking bad. I can't stand it.
The crowd doesn't even groan, I don't think. I think they're
if you blinked, you missed it. And
Yeah,
if you blink, it happened so fast.
I think the crowd is so ticked at this point. They're like, this can't get it just got worse.
Way worse.
And they don't even react to it. They're almost sad.
I was embarrassed. I remember watching this at home. I came home for a weekend from college, and I was watching this at my house, and my father was watching this with me, and I'm like, I can't believe, and he's just sitting there looking at me like, I can't believe you watched this.
He's an idiot.
I can't believe I'm paying for this.
That's probably what he was thinking. Oh man, sorry.
Go back to school. Leave me alone.
God. Hogan ends up low blowing the Warrior. Leg drop. Horace Hogan comes out. So now he's looking at him after the Warrior kicks out here. Horace had been beat up on the previous Nitro, I guess that was turns out to be his initiation process.
I'm even yawning now.
Yeah, I know. Blast the Warrior with the chair. Horace helps Hogan win. Well, Bischoff has the referee in a headlock on the side. That's somehow freaking legal.
Yeah, but how's that not a DQ?
I don't know.
He's got the referee in a headlock.
In a headlock over there. And then the referee turns around, the Warrior's just out. Now, okay.
Yeah.
And then then they decide they're going to kill the Warrior.
Yeah, after he beats him.
Yeah.
He hits him with a chair, and that's the end of the match. He just hits him with a chair, and it's over.
Yep.
And then they decide they're going to light him on fire.
It's lighter fluid. And then thank God for Doug Dillinger.
Yes.
Doug Dillinger makes the save.
The only time he's ever gotten in the ring in time.
And here's the thing, dude. He took the one lighter. Apparently, that was it. After he took that one lighter, we can't murder him.
I guess
anymore.
we'll just leave.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They just like he took our one lighter. We didn't bring two. And that's it, guys. Go home. And they leave the Warrior laying in the ring.
Dude, the Warrior's music, right? How many like intros does he have to his music? Like, it has him talking at the beginning, and then there's lightning and thunder and all this. Then it has some sirens, then like a guitar riff, like an easy listening, like sounds like the beginning of a Who song or something. And then it goes into the da 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 for like 45 seconds is passed.
The freaking X-Men just arrived. It's
yeah.
like all of them dropped it. You know,
What
everybody
are we
with
doing?
their music.
Just play the dang music, man. And that's just bad. The arm drags, they must have done the full arm drag and twist, as Tony likes to call it, like a million times. The crowd is asleep from the get-go, man. Like, outside of the Warrior Sucks chant, they're asleep. And they weren't even really up for the intros or anything, man. And the worst part about the flash paper isn't just that it goes off like in his hand. It's, again, the referee is standing right there watching this happen. He's literally standing right there. Like, what are you doing? Like, and he watches him pull it out of his boot, and he's got a bag. He looks like he's got a bag of crack or something, and he's over in the corner trying to light it. The refs are like, "Hey, what are you doing? You got something for me over there? Well, hey, fella, what's happening? What? You can't do that."
And fire has never worked in wrestling. The Inferno matches, they're not good.
The one guy that got lit on fire and then regenerated 3 months later. Now
Randy
everybody
Orton
thinks it's cool.
Randy Orton blocked the fireball, I think, at one point.
Yeah, Alexa had a torch. She shot.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you should just leave fire alone. You know,
Yes,
I
leave
mean,
fire
we
alone.
aren't going to kill people unless we're botching. We're not going to kill them. So don't act like you're going to kill them. Leave it with the Sheik at the Cobo Hall back in the day, man. Just leave it there. Doug Dillinger let every fan who ever wanted to get in the ring get in the ring, but he was in there pretty quick on this one. So we are down to the final two. Now, we have the same two for 1 and 2, just in a different order. So my number 2 is your number 1 and vice versa. So how do you want to do this, man? Do you want to let's go with your number 1 first?
Sure, whatever you feel, Ryan.
And we'll flip it back for the other one.
And,
so, okay.
and the people can decide the way they see this order or whatever you feel.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments which one you feel
Yeah.
is worse.
Yeah, and if you have another one if you think Hogan Warrior is the worst, let us know what's up in the comments.
Whatever
that would be
you
awesome.
got. And there are a lot to choose from.
So these, in our mind, are definitely the worst two. Let's start at my number 2, your number 1. And you know what? I'll let you go since this is your number 1. Tell us why 1991 Chamber of Horrors match is the worst Halloween Havoc match.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen in wrestling.
Thing sucks.
I think this is it's so freaking bad. Number 1, the participants. Okay, we don't have a lot to work with in this participant. I mean, I'm sorry. There's a couple cripple points here. El Gigante, who we would then know as later Giant Gonzalez. With that memorable match at WrestleMania 9 versus The Undertaker. You know, Abdullah the Butcher, who I could only assume got into wrestling because of blading. This guy is awful. Cactus Jack can go. You know, you got the Diamond Stud, who me and you adore, not maybe as the Diamond Stud, but we still like Mr. Scott Hall.
Mr. Scott Hall.
Hey, yo.
The Steiner brothers, who I like, and Sting are all in this match. Okay, it's a massive cage match. They start the pay-per-view with it.
Yes.
And one can only imagine, because this piece of crap cage is going to fall apart.
It's all rickety.
It's so bad. If anything, they have to start first, because then afterwards we're just scrapping this whole thing, never to be used from again.
We're not lifting it back up. We're just knocking it down.
Yeah, just get rid of this thing. And At some point, which is unspecified to the viewer, a chair is going to be lowered into the center of the ring. This is an electric chair where the objective of the match is to kill your opponent in the electric chair.
Nick, could I the ring announcer begins the match saying, quote, the cage is equipped with several instruments of torture. Then he says, the object of the match is, quote, put whoever in the chair of torture, then pull the fatal lever. So we're going to kill this person.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Which will then, quote, render one of the teammates helpless. So there you go.
If you kill someone, it does render you helpless. You would think.
Well, that's when you pull the fatal lever. Yeah.
And we've got a special thing in this match, Ryan, that gets going right off here. The referee camera.
Yes.
Who named that? Who the hell said referee?
Well, that's clever, dude.
Yeah, that's referee. And it's this view, and they only go to it for like half a second, and it shakes.
It's like Blair Witch.
And it goes, and they never stay with it. You go to it, you get to see this, and then it's gone.
So he's wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
And there's no GoPros back then or anything. He's literally got like a bike helmet on that has a camera on top of it. Now, did you see him at all? Like, did you notice him in the ring at all?
That's a problem I have.
I did a couple times. Like, they're on a wide shot and you can see him. Have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live sketch with Mike Myers when he's the little kid and he's like chained to a jungle gym and he's got a helmet on? His name's Philip.
I don't remember that.
And he's chained to this thing. He looks like Philip, the little kid from Saturday Night Live, and he runs and he tries to break away from the chain and it like pulls him back like a dog does.
I'm a hypo.
You got to see it. That's what he looked like. He just looked like a moron with the helmet on.
It's so bad. Now we're in this chamber of horrors. The chair starts to lower. The match couldn't have been slower. All the dudes stop fighting. We're in this death match and stare at the chair.
Yeah, which is in its own cage.
Yes, now it's in its own cage. They're stopping to beating the hell out of each other. And it lowers, and then a group of men, all dressed in white.
Look like zombies.
Yeah, they have their face painted white. They're all in white. I think they signify a passage to heaven because there's something that's said later in this match that will signify this. So, and then
someone's gonna die.
Yeah, they kneel down and they wait on the aisleway. Guys go in, and a couple guys get thrown into the chair. No one goes for the switch. Okay, just
because the switch is like up on the cage.
Yes, you have to go for it. And then Rick Steiner is sitting in the chair. The switch falls to the on position.
You've got to be kidding me.
And nothing.
And they zoom in on it. Zoom in on it.
What the hell? And again, no one thought, like, maybe we should have the on position up.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to push up to,
or like make sure it's secure.
And now we've got a problem. Because Cactus Jack heads up the side of the cage, the heel, to push the switch back up. And he puts it back up, looks away, it falls again. It won't stay up. They keep pushing. So now the referee has to climb up on the cage, and he's up there, and he's holding it in place. It is just the worst freaking thing. And now we head to the finish, where Rick Steiner is in there with Abdullah, and I guess the plan is that Rick Steiner, this has got to be time. Cactus Jack is going to climb up again. He's still up there on the lever.
Yep,
he's just hanging on the cage. This is where it's going to get bad. That's it. Hasn't already. Yeah, this is Rick Steiner's supposed to reverse and throw Abdullah in the thing.
Yeah.
And then Mick Foley or Cactus doesn't realize it because he was ready to light Rick. And he pulls the lever. So it takes forever. Rick can't get the suplex off slow enough. And then he puts him in the chair. He can't get him in the chair and hooked in. So Cactus is just like sitting there as Abdullah's
all day long.
All freaking day. He's going to, dude, turn around. You're going to execute your own dude.
Right.
It takes so long. Finally, Cactus pulls the lever. Sparks fly on the top of the cage. Abdullah starts shocking, and he's heading to his grave, man. Ryan, this part is so bad. I don't have any clue how you could do a match today like this with sparks flying everywhere. I don't know how you
apparently you cannot, because I saw it attempted. It didn't work.
Get him over! No! Kicks it! Oh my! Oh my God!
But oh god,
even WCW at least got it to look right.
It did what it was supposed to do. The explosion goes off.
No, the thing isn't on Abdullah's head at all.
Didn't even come out. He's not even locked in properly. He's executed. Cactus comes over after this. This is word of what does he yell? Come back! Come back! Yeah, he yells, "Come back!" And he starts shaking Abdullah. Abdullah gets up, nails Cactus Jack.
No sells death.
No sells. And the announcer says this, dude. He woke up, thought he was in heaven, and knew he didn't belong.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes. And they say he's out of control. They're making fun. He's out of control. He can't control himself. But as he walks out of the ring, it's not secure with the aisleway. So two dudes have to secure the aisleway, and he's carefully stepping out of the ring as not to fall, and then goes back out of control into the white dudes that are all the face paint and the white.
Murders all of them.
And he's so big, he falls over as he's beating them up, and he's just like laying there, swimming around on the aisleway. It's so bad, man. And that's how it goes. They killed someone, Ryan. They killed someone.
And he no-sold it. He just got up and started.
There's a lot of no-selling death tonight, dude. There's a lot of no-selling death. How bad it was work bad. The theme was bad.
In my opinion, that sucked.
And they killed someone. I can't get over this. This is the worst thing. It's so bad. The cage is just... It looks, me and you could have thrown this up in your backyard and had some pool death match or something and made it look better than this cage looked. I hate this match.
What I don't understand, a couple of things. We were in for a rough night right from the get-go because Sting is the last guy to come down the aisle. And this is back in the day when WCW had the elevated aisle all the way to the ring. He comes out and he pounds his chest and his belt fell off. So right then I'm like, oh boy, we're in trouble. Yeah, the pulling the lever. He's sitting up there for over a minute.
God, it's so long.
And you can see that he's looking at the ring, but then he pretends like he didn't see it, and then he just pulls it. So what? He was just gonna pull it whenever? What was he gonna eat a sandwich up there and go? I guess I'll pull it now. Kill him. No, and then he fries his own dude. But, dude, the explosion actually is fairly good. So much so that the ring mat catches on fire, and they got to put out this.
They step it on the fire.
Yeah, they're trying to put the fire out. But, dude, then when Abby just gets up and starts killing everybody, like, you got to be kidding me. He just no-sold the electric chair. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. At least in my mind, this is worse.
This was my 2.
Number 2, my number 1 worst Halloween Havoc match of all time comes from 1995. And it's not just one bad match, Nick.
No.
It's 2 bad matches and really a bad hour and a half.
Spanning over the night, yes.
It is Hulk Hogan against the Giant in a match and in a monster truck sumo wrestling match on top of Cobo Hall in Detroit.
with explosives.
So they show these guys, yeah, everything's got to blow up.
And boom goes the dynamite.
They show these two dudes at the very beginning of the pay-per-view, and they're like practicing. They're like chicken fighting in their cage. And like, are they just going to be up there for 3 hours doing this? Why are they up there already? What are we doing? And now remember, the Giant just showed up. For those that don't know or don't remember, he has just shown up as a member of the Dungeon of Doom. He is supposed to be Andre the Giant's son at this point. That's the storyline. He's Andre's kid.
I gotta know something, man. Hey, is Andre really your dad, man?
Really,
we have
Andre's
a Dungeon
dead.
of Doom segment randomly in the aisleway, and they treat the Dungeon of Doom like it's another dimension. Like, it's supposed to be in a different dimension when you can clearly see it's right in the aisle on the stage at Halloween Havoc in the Joe Louis Arena.
And it's a Warrior promo.
Oh, yeah.
But
They're just
galaxies. Eternities.
Yeah, and so Sullivan is supposed to be super evil here. He's wearing a little lav mic attached to his strap. You could tell that's what all the evil guys do, so you can hear them when they're in their different dimension. I thought that was funny. All of a sudden, Hogan, who was just at Cobo Hall next door on top of the building in his full outfit, fire suit, is now in the locker room giving away a Harley Davidson at the Joe Louis Arena all of a sudden. And if you want a brother promo, this is maybe the all-time brother promo. He says brother every other word in this promo.
As I present Maniac Mike with the keys, brother, we got somebody called Cadillac Jack, Tony Carlini in the back, brother. He's the best Harley Davidson builder around, brother.
He's wearing black because he's kind of reached his dark side. He's all concerned, but brother, he's got time away to give away this Harley, brother. I'm going to take time out of my busy day. I mean, it's classic. It's all this evil Hogan stuff, but he has time to cut a 1986 promo, brother. It's great. And they talk about Hogan, how he was in the dungeon, trying to do whatever, and everybody, this is all time bad. Everybody has always made fun of the Dungeon of Doom. Like, how could you possibly think this is good? Like another dimension, bunch of evil guys, stuff like that. Kind of like Bray, but that's genius.
Right.
That's just absolute brilliant.
Can't agree with can't say this match is bad.
They're fighting, I think, because they shaved Hogan's mustache off, and then that's when he turned black.
He wore the black, like he painted black on his head
in the match, which is Kevin Sullivan's thing.
Yeah,
dude,
turned the dark side.
So now we get on top of the cage to do the sumo thing. This thing goes forever. They're just pushing each other. They're like welded together. And they just keep pushing each other back and forth, back and forth. And Heenan says, this has got to be like flying the space shuttle. Yeah, it's the same exact thing. Just like that.
I think that's the qualifications at monster truck rallies. You need...
Yeah. Top of Cobo Hall, the moon. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, there were drivers in those trucks?
There were. And
you could see it.
Yeah, and then they did mention there's a co-pilot.
They mentioned that he's controlling the back and one's controlling the front or something.
Right.
Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I don't follow.
I really have no idea. They did have like a monster truck specialist guy there. Like, how did they even come? They had to have like some deal with like Bigfoot or something, like the Thunder Nationals or something, and they're like, oh, this will be a great idea. Like, who decided this would be a good idea? And they're acting like this is a real thing, like, oh yeah, brother, they've been talking about this. So stupid. Anyway, Hogan wins. Giant gets he has to like push him out of like a circle of cones.
They were cones
with random explosive, because everything's got to blow up at Halloween Havoc. Giant gets out to confront him. I'm sure you've seen or heard this in the past. He gets up on the ledge and falls off of Cobo. Now, they say he fell in the river. Us being from Detroit, yes, Cobo is on the river, but it's like 50 feet from the river. Like there's a river walk that goes down the road. Like, you don't fall in the river off of the Cobo. you fall on cement, isn't like, which is even worse, I would think.
They said something about that. Bischoff says you fall in a river, you fall in the parking lot. What difference does it make?
Yeah. Well, probably not much, but still. Apparently, it didn't make any difference at all because the guy, once again, no soul death, and he comes out. So, like, dude, Hogan's like freaking out. They come back to Bischoff, and like he's like, oh, send security up there. Somebody get security up there. I'm going up there, brother. And then he leaves. It's like, don't go up there.
Yeah,
you need to go down. You need to go.
Check out Hogan. Hogan.
Let's make sure Hogan's okay. You know, the guy that killed the other guy. Maybe you should go look at the pancake laying at the bottom of the Kovo. I'm going up there. So he just takes off.
Oh, man.
Dude, Heenan says, history's being made, Bischoff. I'm like, yeah, the worst night ever. That's historic. It's so bad, dude. So he goes. Then they just, all of a sudden, they're talking. There's been no match for at least a half hour. So these people in the arena are just, I mean, what did they even pay for? And they're all sad. They just saw some guy maybe die. And Schiavone goes, I got to be honest. I don't know if we're going to have a main event tonight, guys. Oh, you think? I don't know if we're going to have a world title match. And they're all worried and everything. And all of a sudden, here's Luger just comes walking out with his super happy music. Yeah, we just saw a guy die. I don't really want to hear this music right now. Hogan comes out, man, and he's like apologizing. And then the Giants music just hits. He comes out. He doesn't even have like a scratch on him. Nothing. Not a scratch, not a Band-Aid.
He was made of a coal miner's glove.
Yeah. Dude, they couldn't even have like stuck a Band-Aid like Nelly under his eye or
just
something.
Scratched or like some fake dirt. Yeah, like he fell in the river. Maybe just wet him down with like dirty water.
Jump in the shower real quick.
Yeah, or so,
like, unbelievable, man.
Nope.
So the match actually isn't that bad. I thought the match is the best Hogan Giant match of all. I think it's the best Hogan, and they had a bunch of them. I think it's the best one they had.
There's nothing wrong with the match. It's Hogan at what, 43 Sloke or 40 somewhere in there.
That.
40.
Yep.
I don't know where he is. He's about 40.
Yeah,
and,
low 40s.
So you're going to get what you get, and it wasn't again 5, but yeah, it was good. I thought the same thing as you,
dude. They go Hogan. Sullivan comes down, and Hogan goes to double noggin knock Sullivan and the Giant. The freaking Giant is 7 foot tall. Kevin Sullivan is 5'2". So he takes both their heads, and he goes like this, and Sullivan's head just doinks off the Giant's belly button. It's so bad, dude. You gotta see it if you have not seen that, dude. I was dying. And so... And again, classic WCW, they miss the entire angle again. Jimmy Hart is Hogan's manager at this point. Hogan hits the leg drop, is going for the pin. Jimmy Hart clobbers the referee from behind with the megaphone. They miss it.
Missed it.
So no one knows what's going on. They're like, did he fall down? What happened? Who hit him? What? Because you didn't get to see it. And then all of a sudden, like, chaos breaks out.
Jimmy hits Hogan after he goes for the pin on the Giant, or goes for the Giant.
Right.
And then Hogan turns around and is like, and then they're like, instant replay. Yeah, 5 minutes later. Thank you.
Yeah. And then here comes the dungeon, and here comes Savage and Luger. Luger then joins the dungeon. He turns on Savage, and they're all beating him up. Then the Yeti shows up. Now, I am not really up on my people that live in the Himalayas, but I thought a Yeti was not a cooler or a mummy in this case. I thought it was like an abominable snowman. I thought it was kind of like the thing that beat up Luke Skywalker in episode 5. No, it's a mummy, apparently. And he comes out and humps Hulk Hogan.
And you should have seen what he did this past Thursday on Thanksgiving.
What'd he do, Gene?
He nailed a turkey from the rear.
You have to see this. He comes up behind him and I don't know what's going. And him and the Giant are just
they have Hogan in the middle, and he just puts his arm out. You thought he was like probably trying to like suffocate him, strangle him. No, he just sticks his arms up here and then starts moving his hips.
It's just this dirty mummy.
Schiavone says, "You will never see a pay-per-view like this again."
I hope to God.
Let's freaking hope.
God. Hey, throw mummies in there with things that don't work in wrestling. Mummies.
Yeah. Who are not really supposed to be mummies that broke out of an icicle.
That's right.
Then Heenan says, so Hogan's like dead now. Hogan's laying on the ground. He's all tortured. Warm up the bedpan. Hogan's going to the hospital. What about the guy that fell off the freaking roof?
He's fine.
What are we doing? He's okay. Don't worry about him. Worry about the guy that got humped by the mummy. That's painful. I mean, this is Russo Mania, which is WrestleMania 15, times by every steroid that Jose Canseco ever took. I mean, Barry Bonds is like, hey, take it easy.
Take it easy, man.
This is a circus, man.
Dude, like Bobby, his line, Ryan, they tried to cover, like, how could he be okay? Bobby says, we don't know how or where he fell. Was there a ledge?
Yeah.
Or did he fall onto a truck? Let me tell you something. If you
truck
fall
wouldn't
off
have been
the
any better.
No, if you fall off the Como onto a truck, you die.
I don't know. I saw it in Home Alone. They come back to Heenan and Schiavone to wrap up the night. And half the crowd's already gone. Hogan's still laying in the ring. They're trying to wheelbarrow him out. He's limping. And they come back. People, you see him walking up the aisle. Half the crowd's already empty. Heenan stands up and he looks and he goes, look at this place. He goes, quote, there isn't an eye looking anywhere else but in that ring. As you just see people walking out. Like what? There couldn't be anything else worse than this. And right from the get-go, even though, like, they're like, you get to see 2 matches tonight. I didn't ask for a monster truck rally, and I really didn't ask for the guy to die. Like, just give me the match. And who looks bad here? Like, Hogan gets beat by a guy that fell off a building. And I don't know. And he's the one that was left laying.
And it's all this stuff. It just is death, mummies.
Yeah.
Come on, people. Like, it's someone. This dude
Havoc
came
is full of this stuff.
It's frozen in ice. And I hope people are with us because I don't want to see this stuff. This stuff doesn't belong in wrestling. I'm sorry. It is too cheesy. And especially
unless you're a genius coming up with it.
Right. Yeah, then it can come in. Or at least, and not with main event guys. I mean, this crap.
This is your main event. This is the World Championship.
The Undertaker ascending through the Titantron, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like this. A door with a dimensional pathway. Tell me you couldn't put that in one of these things. That couldn't have been in the Chamber of Horror match.
No,
there's like
it's
also a magical door.
It's exactly the same. It's all the same.
Chick, it's gonna be real scary.
We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you.
God,
anyway, appreciate it, everybody out there. Thanks for watching again. We'll have some more stuff coming. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Please leave a comment. And we'll get back to you. Appreciate it, everybody. See ya.
Pleasure's all yours, Bucky boys.